Alrighty, my friends, I'm Tammy K. Welcome back to my channel. And you know that you are here today because you want to learn about how to keep your watercolors vibrant. These two jars will explain soon as to why this is one of the most important ways to keep your colors vibrant. And of course, as a bonus, we are also going to be painting a watercolor flower, this basic, simple iris that anyone can do. So let's get into the video. All right, friends, so if you want to keep your colors bright and vibrant, my number one tip is to have 2 jars or 2 wells with water in it. One with the warm colors, reds, oranges, and yellows, and one with the cool colors, greens, blues, and purples. And the reason is that when you mix all the colors together, you get a brown, you get mud. But what's really happening is when we're looking at the 3 primaries, red, I'm gonna do red. All right, it's a nice pinky red, still red. And we've got our yellow as well. And then we also have our blue. We'll just use this one right here. This one's almost out. Still works though. All right, so these are beautiful and vibrant together. If we mix together our, let's dab our brush, our red and our yellow, you know we get a nice kind of orangey mix right in the middle. And get a little bit more red in there. And then if we mix together our yellow and our blue, we're gonna get a version of green happening over here, okay? Depending on the shades. And then of course, if we mix our red together over here with our blue, looks like a purpley because already I've got some red on my brush. All right, and we're gonna get a purple mix happening. So that's fine and dandy, but what if we were to mix red and yellow? That's nice, beautiful bright orange, but then we add in some blue. All of a sudden, we've got this muddy color. It's really gray looking to me. So the idea is you don't want to mix together all 3, right? So what can you do? You add in your cool colors on one side. If you do this consistently, your cools, here's some more cool. Okay, and then you add in your warms on this side. If you do that consistently, you will keep your waters in that way, nice and vibrant. And the big thing about that is that if you have muddy water, what's going to happen is you're going to have muddy water on your brush, and you're going to take that muddy water to whatever bright, vibrant color, and you're going to muddy it down. So now complementary colors are the other thing. The ones that are opposite on the color wheel, for example, purple and yellow. Gorgeous next to each other, all right? But if you were to mix them together, they make a muddy color. They mute each other down. And that might be a color that you want, but it may not be a color that you want. However, if you were to take a little bit of one color of the complementary and you add just a little or a lot of that and a little bit of the opposite, you're going to mute it down a little bit, but it's still going to be a beautiful color. It's not going to be mud. So complementary colors, if you use the majority one and the other one just a little bit, you can mute it down and you can create a really beautiful version. For example, let's do red and green. All right, this will be our last one, and then we'll get into our iris painting. So red and green are absolutely beautiful next to each other, Christmas colors, right? But when you mix them together in equal-ish parts, you're gonna get a very muddy, not great color. However, if you were to take your red again, all right, and then a little bit of green just in there, all of a sudden, you still have a lovely color. It's not vibrant, it's a little bit muted, but it's not muddy, and you can utilize this in many different types of paintings. So for our iris painting, I'm going to take a number 6 round, grabbing my water and grabbing my nearest purple. And this is a nice purple that has a bit more red in it than this one next to it. This is more of a bluish purple. So these are both really pretty when making our irises. I also know that we need to use some yellow, and we're just gonna go for it. So I'm gonna grab this really dark one here. And I always like to dab my brush before I start laying down the paint. And I'm going to angle the brush facing towards me. So we're gonna do that first petal that stands up in the middle. So we've got a really thin little mark right here. So pressing down with kind of a medium pressure. And then I'm gonna go up kind of a curve shape, and I'm just gonna let the brush wiggle and waggle just a little bit and go all the way up to a point. Grab a little bit more paint from the other purple and just kind of complement that shape on the other side. And then just wet my brush, dab it, and we're gonna fill that in. So that is our first petal. And while that is still wet, I'm gonna grab some more of this concentrated paint. We're just gonna poke in a little bit of extra color there. Let it just dry and melt together and spread. So now we're going to do the second petal, grabbing some water, mixing this up, dabbing my brush. And it's just a tiny little guy that goes off to the right, so little stemmy part. And then I press down with a little bit like medium pressure. Just gonna wiggle my brush and just let it kind of dissipate right there. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab some more of this one. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. The paintbrush is painted towards me, starting with the pointy part at the base here. And just kind of wiggling and getting that petal on paper. I also want to put some of that paint on the bottom here, just like a little bit of a shadow, a little bit of texture. Look at how easy that is so far. So now I'm going to clean my brush, and I'm going to grab some fresh water on the warm water side, which is still clear. I'm going to grab some of my cadmium yellow. It's a nice bright yellow color. Dab my brush. And now I've got that point again faced inside, facing down on the inside of this flower. And we're going to press down, light pressure, then medium pressure, and just kind of arc around like so. Then we're going to do the same thing on this side here. So press down, just kind of squiggle your brush, just like so. And I do want to make sure this is all connected here. All right, so now I'm going to clean my brush, and then I'm going to take purple again, and we're going to meet the yellow with the purple petal down here. So we're just going to continue this petal on, because they have these lovely yellow parts. It starts yellow and then it becomes purple. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now you can see more of this petal, so we're going to do kind of a heart shape like that. Come back around and fill that in. Now I do want to make sure that these are connected. It's okay if they mix together. Actually, that's good. So do a little mixing. All right. And then we do need to add in some greens. Okay, so grabbing the kind of grassy green I have on my palette right here, I'm going to grab a little bit more, and I want to brighten it up. So I'm going to use a lemon yellow, which is really bright. And I just start at the corner and mix in to see if I like what's happening. I do. Add a little bit more. I don't want to put too much green into this yellow. It taints it so easily, so I try to rinse my brush in between. Then dab on the paper towel, and then we're going to take off that hair, and then we're going to start painting in the stem part of this. So we're just going to do kind of a nice little sketchy line here, just a little bit here. And then we have that little kind of casing thing that the bud grows out of. And we're going to use the green. We're going to use the green. So it's a little bit that kind of folds over like that. So we'll keep it like this. And then we have the base of the stem, basically. Just like so. All right, and then there's another one that's growing out, and there's a bud behind. So we'll grab some more of that green. And I see it in the reference photo I'm using just right about here. We're just going to curve around, just like that. And then, actually, I'm going to still keep that green. So don't rinse your brush if you haven't already. All right, so we'll put that in there. And it comes up over here. And then we have a beautiful purple bud. So grab some of that purple. Just going to make that bud shape right now. That first layer is so important. So we've got a nice vibrant color. And if you wanted to mute down your iris, you could do what we did before. I'm also going to grab some of this darker purple for now. You could add a little bit of yellow just to mute things down and make a really beautiful purple that's not so vibrant if you wanted to. So I'm just kind of adding a little bit of contrast in while it is still wet. And this part right here, I would like to just add as if it's folded over. And maybe this part is in shadow and that's the inside. So now cleaning my brush. I got a little splatter, but that's okay. Just wipe it up. And now I can just go in with a clean damp brush and just, just kind of tone down those marks and help them blend in. I do want to put a little bit more marks over here now that it's dry. And this is just giving a little contrast to the flower. There we go. I'm going to take that same green, a pretty watery mix, dab my brush, and I'm going to add in some leaves. So at the broad side of the brush here, we're going to press down and just kind of wiggle, wiggle. And we're going to go back behind it, come out this side, and we get really thin and tiny as we get up to the next, that last part there. Let's do the same type of thing on the other side, but maybe we're going to arc it over this way. We just want to create a nice balance. And then I'm going to do another one right here where we're kind of balancing out the heaviness of the painting on either side. All right, so now I'm going to add a little bit of splatter. So I'm taking a watery mix of that purple on my brush, and I'm just going to splatter it all around my painting. And that's it. Alrighty, we've painted together. We've learned how to keep our colors vibrant. Hopefully those are things you will practice on your own. And I hope you had fun painting the iris. If you want to paint more irises, I do have a composition on my YouTube channel that you can check out as well from way back in the past. But it still works and it's kind of fun to try new things. So thank you for being here, you guys. I want to remind you that my new Skillshare class came out 2 weeks ago, I think, and so it's linked below. The referral link is there if you'd like to check it out. If you still are interested and you haven't signed up yet for a possible collaboration with Craftimo and myself to create a customized brush collection, I am collecting names just so that we can have a list. It's kind of like a poll. It's not based on if you're going to plan on purchasing or not, but it's just, is this something that you would be interested in purchasing? So linked below, you can sign up for that too. That's all I have to say. All right, guys, thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon on the next tutorial.